meow, 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 meow. What's up, my good friend, whose name I know, Lawrence. That's you. That's you. Hey, you guys seen Obsession yet? It was really good. I think you should go see it. Unless you don't like scary movies, because I gotta say, this one's real scary. It's a good film. We got Obsession. We got Backrooms. Over on Another Planet, we got I Love Boosters. The movies are back, baby. And so is book 15 of Animorphs. You know, the way that I record these intros often is I go to the very beginning of my little recording session here in Adobe Audition, the very beginning, and I press record, and I already have the theme music in here. So I only have until the volume drops to think of what I'm gonna say, and do I spend that time thinking? Absolutely fucking not. This is why I was on the radio a lot when I was in college. I worked at the radio station. This is why I never did that thing that DJs do where they introduce one song while the other song is ending. And they fade it out and then they say what's coming next or what that song just was and then they fade it back up. I never did that. And this is why. Now, did I try it a few times? Yes. Was it nerve-wracking? And also, I forgot what any words were or how to say them or how to make noise that resembled words? No. Hi Mutz. I was actually probably fine, to be honest, but I sure didn't feel like it. I prefer this a lot better, where I can do this. But should I just do this? It's 2026. Nothing fucking matters. Okay, here's this episode of Book 15. We have quite a few more. Again, recording kind of shit. That's on me. But convo is so good. Let's stick with it. Let's talk about this book of all time. Enjoy. Chapter 5. They're going to go investigate whatever is happening at Royan Island. Chapter 5 is basically just them planning on what to do. One thing that's important is that Axe has no idea what is the psychic radius.
Yeah, it could be whatever.
Yeah, it could be, they could already be sussed out and we would have no idea. Or they could have to be right there in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So everything they do from here on out is some kind of a gamble. They fly off to the gardens in Gull Morph. One thing that's very funny and very, very stupid is Marco convinces Jake, while they're both seagulls, to ride a roller coaster. And there's this crazy, I'm going to go find this exact quote, because in the midst of all of this, Marco is this is a good time for an existential conversation with my best friend.
I actually have this bookmarked.
Oh my God, please, if you've got it.
Yeah, so as they're going to the gardens because we can actually, let's back up because this is the first big Tobias moment and you've been craving those and I don't want to gloss over it too much.
Thank you.
That Tobias, everybody's talking about, okay, so we need to go out in the ocean. Tobias doesn't have a dolphin morph. He's the only person who hasn't managed to get something for underwater. And Tobias at first is okay, I mean, I guess I'm just going to be in the air because that's where he's always been up to this point. But he can morph now, so maybe he should morph. And Marco notes that he seems sort of ambivalent about it. And it's not totally clear as of here whether that's because Tobias is just scared of the water, reasonable, or other reasons. But Tobias starts babbling and eventually lands on going to become a dolphin. But they do go to the gardens, and Marco drags Jake off to the amusement park section to just go fly through a roller coaster.
Yeah.
There's these great descriptions of flying and Marco trimming his wings this way and that way. Marco actually loves morphing.
Yeah.
Is a big thing. They all talk about in their various books how much flying is really cool. But Marco has specifically talked previously before this about how much he would miss flying specifically as a thing that he wouldn't be able to do if he quit the team. So he is really clinging to the part of this that brings him joy right now and brings his best friend along with it. And they blow through everywhere. They land on the back of a roller coaster car and go all the way down the hill and flap off of it to do this Evel Knievel seagull stuff. And then they land in this little tight space and have a conversation. Come on. Now that was cool. Admit it, I told Jake. Yeah, that was cool. We're still our old selves, aren't we? I mean, we haven't changed. Not really. No matter what, right? Sure, Marco. No, I mean it. I realized I had grown very serious. I don't know why, but I wanted Jake to agree with me. It was important to me. We're still just us. Nothing that happens can really change what you are, right? We flapped side by side back to the others.
And then I also got to throw in Jake's response.
Oh,
here.
yeah. I'm not exactly a philosopher, okay?
I love this from Jake.
Jake's so tired, man. Why are you do we have to do this right now?
I also, I know this is not how it happens, but in my head, it's like, there's like a meme image that I'm thinking of, but they get off this roller coaster and it's almost like Marco is taking Jake by the shoulders and being like, I'm still me, right?
Yeah, with with fangs gnashing at the end. It's like, God, tell me, please. And it's the thing is, Marco knows that people can change because he saw his dad snap. It's one of the first things that we learn about him. So he's really scared right here. Yes. For a lot of reasons. And he's about to get even more. Yeah.
So Jake is like, yeah, sure. And now they are actually in the process of figuring out how to get Tobias a dolphin morph.
Yet another plan that nobody thought about. Step one of the logistics of before they arrived at the destination.
No, because he can't get it in human boy form.
Nope.
He has to do it in hawk form, and hawks famously do not have hands.
Tobias's morph is acquiring on nightmare mode for the rest of the series.
Yeah. And so they're basically his plan is to swoop down on a dolphin and grab it as it hops out of the water, and he does, and then he's with his talons lodged in there. It's so gross.
It's really gross. This is an iconic scene for me. Dolphin rodeo forever.
And so the dolphin is doing a little dolphin show. So then Tobias is going to get smacked right into one of these hoops that it's jumping into.
Oh, no, Tobias said matter-of-factly.
We also have a great Tobias moment earlier on when he's about to drown because he's stuck on this dolphin. And it says, we all yelled helpful advice. Hold your breath. Gee, really? Do you think? Hold my breath, Tobias managed to respond. This is like,
you fucking dinguses. I'm going to die.
This is like peak Howell Jenkins in the Howl's Moving Castle book specifically. This is such a Howell moment. I loved this. I love when Tobias gets to be a little bitchy. It's my favorite.
Oh, he's so
funny.
sarcastic.
It's so good.
And everybody is like really surprised when the dolphin doesn't go into trance. And I'm like, yeah, y'all, Tobias has his talons stuck in its flesh.
Yeah.
The rest of y'all just like pet a tiger and it went to sleep for a second. Like I would not go into a meditative state either if you sunk a bird talon into my flesh.
Yeah, no, and it's like in there. It's like in there.
He cannot get out.
Oh, it's so gross.
Oh man, it's rough.
So
But Marco needs this.
He does. And
Tobias having a bad time does make Marco feel a little bit better, as fucked up as it is.
And Marco once again saves Tobias from being smashed to death.
That's true.
Yes.
That's the second time.
Yes.
This specific manner. Oh God.
Yes.
Oh no, I didn't pick up on that.
I'm always thinking about Tobias almost being smashed to death. Oh my God. I can't believe you started the series on book 3.
Sure did.
So crazy.
That's my book 1. That's my baseline for Animorphs. And I said, gimme.
Yeah, I would have too. Hell yeah. Okay, now in my notes for chapter 8, I have a little screenshot of some noises. And I have no clue where this happens or what it's from. I will give you, out of context, what this screenshot is. It is bloop, bleep, bloom, bloop, blum, blank.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have it here. This is when Marco is morphing dolphin. And he loses his legs first and splashes down into the water face first.
Right.
The lower half of my body was already almost pure dolphin. Good grief, I'm a mermaid, I said. Although since I was trying to talk underwater, all anyone else heard was blah, 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 blah.
These books rule.
Dramatic readings of mid-morph conversations.
So good. So, yes, they are morphing dolphins to go off to Royan Island. When they get there, it's there's this huge house on this island, and they say it used to be owned by this Royan guy who was a bootlegger in the 1920s. It's now owned by a Marquez family. And there is a cigarette boat outside. I did not know what that was. I had to look that up.
Can I? Yes. Can I? This is. I knew what a cigarette boat was specifically because I was the kind of tween that was already reading Doonesbury comic strip collections.
Absolutely.
Duke, the character, if anybody is a Doonesbury fan who is constantly getting into political situations,
yes.
Has a cigarette boat that he is sometimes on doing shenanigans on and blowing up fish with dynamite or something. So amazing. I was the kind of like not yet a teenager who knew what a cigarette boat was.
Incredible. That's a good reason.
These books were for me.
Yes. So at this house, there's guards all over. And I love that everybody is like, oh, it's happening. Controllers. And Rachel is like, they're probably just rich. They own an island.
Rich people can famously do whatever they want on islands.
Yes. Famously. So they are covering up Axe's hoof prints because he is demorphing when they're out of the water, and obviously he demorphs as an Andalite. And already we have Marco start to talk about sharks. He does not like them because if y'all remember,
I was going to ask you about.
Got ripped to shreds by one.
This happened at a point in number 4 where I wasn't sure if you were in full whale dissociation mode.
Almost definitely.
And I wasn't. Yeah. And it was interesting. Actually, I reread that section to prepare, and it's interesting because that is from Cassie's perspective, and she's like horrified, but it's described as like his tail is hanging off.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, that's really bad. I'm glad that Marco's okay now. But a dolphin is half tail.
It straight up is half tail. That is half of his whole him.
His whole situation.
Yeah. Got
bit off.
Yeah. And Marco says in this chapter, see, the first time I went into dolphin morph, a shark almost cut me in two. And that kind of thing will stick with you, you know?
His physical injury PTSD is colliding with his complex grief PTSD, and he's not having a good time.
No, perfect storm right here. That was a tiger shark. It was not, Axe is a hammerhead, so it's a little bit different.
So he has the first reaction to, oh no, it was a hammerhead shark that got him. Yes, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I said it wrong. No, you're right. I said it wrong. No. Yes. Okay.
Oh no, Axe Axe is a tiger shark.
It's a tiger shark.
I will note that's very cute that he gets a tiger shark morph and Jake is famously a tiger.
Oh, that is cute. I didn't even think of that.
I just think they're cute.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and Marco is still, he's like trying to talk himself down, but he's pretty stressed out by even just being around a shark, and I do not blame him. I am rather pro shark myself. I love sharks very much. But I think especially even before being almost super killed by one, the early 90s is a really good time to be super scared of sharks. So, chapter 9, everybody's having a pretty good dolphin time. Tobias even is having a pretty good dolphin time.
He's having a nice time.
Yeah.
He did not think he was going to have a good time.
No, he did not. Tobias was like pretty not enthused about this plan. They are all racing around the island looking for things, but also kind of just like fucking off, to be honest. Axe is much slower because he is again a tiger shark. Okay.
There is actually
yes.
One of the things, and I think this came up for you at a certain point in the way that this book talks about sharks sometimes. But I think it's interesting that. Sorry, let me take this again.
Sure.
One of the things that I think you can most strongly criticize this book for is some of the pop science that makes its way into the series generally.
Absolutely.
And this is a pretty prominent example of the dolphin pop science that Applegate and Grant were really into at the time. And it was pretty common. Everybody was pretty entranced with the idea of dolphins as really sentient creatures of the waves. They were in aquariums doing paintings on T-shirts that you could buy and stuff. What it was known to an extent at the time, and is much more widely known now, that dolphins are in fact huge assholes.
Yeah, they suck.
And it is kind of interesting, given how much there's like kind of a dichotomy here between dolphins and sharks in this book.
Yes.
How dolphins are played up as it's like very playful, very carefree animals, and sharks are remorseless killing machines.
Yes.
When in fact, dolphins definitely have some of those instincts, and sharks don't have all of them.
Yeah.
So there is some ways in which this metaphor gets a little oversimplistic, I think, but it is in service of Marco having a trauma experience. So.
Yeah. I'm always saying justice for pigeons over doves, justice for rats over mice, and I'm throwing in now justice for sharks over dolphins.
We've hit the trifecta, folks.
We've done it. And I have a note here that I have to tell a very specific story. This is like, I think, one of my most classic stories that I tell kind of as often as I can. And so Past Will is demanding that I put it on the podcast now. So this will be an extendo, but it's a good one. When I was in elementary school, I had two very close friends who were also nationally ranked competitive karate boys. um, and
official title on the certificates over their desks. Nationally ranked karate boy.
Yeah, their desks as they're like 8 years old. So one year they go to a national competition in Vegas. And one of them, or maybe it was both, and this was like a pair. I wasn't there. I don't know. But they knocked out this kid, super easy, first round, no big deal. They continued on the competition. They got it pretty far. They were going to come back the next day. After that first day of competitions, that kid finds them and corners them.
Oh, no.
And he is yelling at them, you humiliated me. You can't do that. Don't you know who I am? And they're like, no. And he tries to like fight dirty, beat them up. But like my friends know how to throw down. So they beat him up and they walk away. And as they walk away, he starts yelling, I'm Shark Boy. I'm Shark Boy.
No.
And yes.
What?
That was Taylor Lautner. Yes. And
no.
Here's the kicker. Shark Boy and Lava Girl had not yet like been announced to the public. So they came back telling me the story being like, what does this mean? What could that possibly mean? And then that summer, we start getting the trailers for Shark Boy and Lava Girl. We're like, oh shit. It really was Shark Boy. And that's Taylor fucking Lautner.
No shit.
Yes.
Well, that's one of the most bananas stories I've ever heard about any celebrity in my life.
Truly, it is one of my, it didn't even happen to me, and it's still one of my favorite things that's ever happened to me.
That's incredible. Imagine the emphasis and confidence of being that age and walking down the street screaming, I'm Shark Boy. Don't you fuckers understand? I'm Shark Boy. That used to mean something 3 months from now.
In the corner of the fucking MGM Grand while my friends were about to just go see a Cirque du Soleil show.
Jesus, that's the plot of Birdman. Taylor Lautner speed ran Birdman before it was cool.
Oh God, I really hope him and his wife Taylor name the baby Taylor. I really hope they do it. I hope they do it. Oh my God.
T3.
God.
Oh, no.
I remember when T3 came out, and as a big Terminator 2 devotee and as a big Claire Danes lover, I was like, this is going to be so good. It sure wasn't.
I'm sorry for your loss, Will.
Okay. Dolphins. I've told the Shark Boy story. It's been documented for history.
Taylor Lautner is always just off screen during the rest of this book.
Yes, he's watching us.
Taylor Lautner was one of the hammerhead sharks that got yerked. And that's why they cast it. He had firsthand experience being a shark.
Oh, okay. So they're doing echolocation around this big island, and there's a thingy. There's some kind of a thingy. They think it's a hologram, maybe a force field, and it is cloaking everything to make it look like a normal seabed, but it is not. They swim past it, so they're realizing, okay, this is a hologram. That's why it was being obscured. And they see a big old pink structure. I don't know. I have in my notes that it's pink. I don't ever think that's relevant.
It's not.
It's not.
It just is. It kind of, honestly, this is one of the other like comic booky feeling moments for me, because this is like the place that the X-Men would find like Nimrod's base underwater or something, and it's pink because of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah, from here on out, I start being like, oh, are we in a James Bond right now? Are we James Bonding right now? And we kind of are.
We kind of are, but we're also doing something else that, that we'll get to later. yes. This book is so good. I loved both like the internal plot going on here, but I also love the actual plot going on here. I think it's so fun. It's so like heisty, but not. There's like weird shit going on. So fun. One of the formulas of an Animorphs book I like is when they're given a weird location.
Yes.
And they're like, all right, how do we get to weird location? I guess we got to do this morph. But what do we do when we get there? I guess we'll wait and see.
I guess we'll wait and see is literally always the answer.
Yeah. There's never a part 2 until it happens.
Yeah. In this big pink structure, there's 3 big openings with these steel doors. One of them is open right now. And then there's porthole windows that Margot keeps calling blisters. I don't like that. Don't call them that. I understand that it's accurate, but that's gross. Don't say that.
Yeah.
And there's like Dilbert ass workers inside.
Rest in piss, Scott Adams.
Rest in piss, you dead bitch. And there's also Hork-Bajir controllers. So
this is, by the way, your notes always abbreviate Hork-Bajir controllers to HBCs. I can't, at least one other guest has had a double take of that for a different reason. I saw HBCs and it took me a couple of minutes before I realized that it said Hork-Bajir controllers are not historically black colleges.
Yes. Yeah, every time I write it, I'm like, oh, hold on, that's another thing. It's fine. It's fine.
Nobody's reading these.
No. And as they're looking, there is some hammerheads, and they are headed straight towards the Animorphs, and Marco is not pleased.
Marco notably has picked up on the fact that Axe doesn't know shit about Earth yet. And doesn't know what's an interesting fish and what's a dangerous fish, and asks for more information. And this is a reason that I like Marco, is because he's one of the members of the team that consistently has critical thinking skills.
Truly. This is another reason why I love Marco and think that he's such a fascinating character, because he's not just a dumb comic relief character. He is a Sokka. Which is exactly what this group needs. We need somebody who's funny, but who's also sharp and astute. So Axe is like saying like, hey, there's a fish and it's weird. And Marco's like, say more. And Axe is like, so they got like crazy heads and fins that are like mine. And Marco is the one who puts this together and is like, oh shit, that's hammerheads. So there's like 10 of them, and there's 5 of them and a tiger shark. There's 5 dolphins and a tiger shark. Rachel is like unfazed. She's like, whatever, this is fine. I love her so much. She's such a badass. And Jake points out like, we don't know if they're coming to attack us. Cassie says, like, yeah, sharks don't usually like do that. And they're gonna be like it's gonna be like a pretty fair fight if they come after us. So I don't think they would do that. Um, and Marco is very wary about all of this.
Marco has a visceral trauma flashback here.
Yes.
To
yes.
getting bitten in half.
Yeah, it says, I had a sudden vivid flash of the searing pain when they'd bitten me once before. They had bitten my dolphin body almost in half. The lower third of me had been left hanging by a few shreds of flesh and some guts. Good Lord.
Ugh.
Good Lord.
That's one of the images that has like stuck with me for a lot. For like years and years and years since I read these books for the first time. And it's one that I actually go back to when I'm like talking about the series with friends and like describing things. I'm like, yeah, Marco fully gets like bitten almost in two and then remorphs and is quote unquote fine, except he's incredibly not fine.
Yes.
And yeah, it's this poor boy.
Has Marco had the most physical trauma?
I was wondering about that, and I think the answer is yes, because I think he has physically died or come close to dying more often per adventure than the rest of the team. Like everybody has had really close experiences with death in their own particular ways, and they're really horrifying. Marco's are incredibly visceral, and yeah, I think he might have certainly some of the most intense physical trauma at this point.
Yeah, like I think the only thing I can think of that comes close is Jake experiencing the death of the Yeerk that was in his head, but that's so different, and that's really more psychological. Marco really is always almost dying.
The one thing I will say, and I know that you were you all had some feelings about the Forgotten number 11 because time travel sort of makes things not have happened anymore.
Yes.
And that's mostly true for everyone except Jake.
Except Jake, yeah.
But it is debatable to some extent as to how well he remembers what happened there. But he does have a memory of everybody dying and then him dying.
Yeah, that's really true, you know.
I will say, I think that does inform a lot of where Jake is at this point and going forward. That sort of thing is only going to get reinforced umpteen times going forward as he continues to have to tell his friends to go into danger, and he'll always have that in the back of his head. Yep. But when it comes to like lasting trauma response shit, like Marco might have the bloody crown here right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think even just after the Eric situation, like I think he gets some trophies here.
Oh my God. I forgot how like really intense that was until I reread.
Crazy. That book was crazy. It's so good. That book was devastating. Absolutely devastating. What a good one. Wow. These books are so good. Okay, so there's tons of sharks. They are outnumbered. And Jake is like, maybe we just bail. And Rachel is like, fuck you, as is her way.
You say that to my face?
Yeah.
In front of my salad?
And Cassie notices that there's more behind them, so they're like especially fucked. So they are swimming away. Cassie tells them to head for shore, thinking that they're not going to follow into shallow water. They're not as fast. The sharks are not as fast as the Animorphs are in their dolphin morphs. But they are like, there's planning involved here. They are surrounded. This is like not typical shark behavior. There's like tactics going on. And so Jake says that they should focus on one shark, draw the blood of that shark to get the interest of the rest of the sharks. In typical shark fashion, they smell blood, etc., etc.
I
Yeah,
This is an interesting thing to me because it'll definitely distract the sharks to a certain extent. I do think that the feeding frenzy science stuff gets a little exaggerated here.
sure.
Because it's something that again does happen with sharks, but from my understanding, it is more of a like you need to kind of chum the water to get them to go into a capital F frenzy. But the way it's described here feels very like how they would deal with a taxon that has that like immediately these creatures will dive on their fellow and rip to shreds, which is like they're not going to immediately be able to get away from these sharks. But I do think that again, like the plan is generally pretty sound, but the way that it's described is like not exactly how sharks work.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it's especially not how these sharks work.
These sharks don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. They do that, and there's like no reaction. And speaking of taxons, my God, after coming off of the Andalite Chronicles, this gave me such flashbacks to the taxons and to the one friend being like, I ate the other one. I know what it felt like. Oh, God.
I couldn't help myself.
Oh, crazy. So this chapter ends, this is chapter 10, ends with them realizing that these sharks are completely ignoring the blood. Marco realizes, again, that they are like planning. This is deliberate. And the last sentences of the chapter are, I knew I was going to die, and worst of all, I knew exactly how it would feel. That's so chilling. That's so chilling.
Poor boy.
Seriously. Oh my God.
And this is kind of like why, in part, like I give a lot of the rest of the like sharks are remorseless killing machines thing like kind of a pass. The other characters buy into it as well, but like this is Marco's perspective. He has feelings about them, and we're getting his. Yeah,
if this were a Cassie book, this would be so different. This would be radically different. So now they're having to pivot and figure out what the fuck they do about this. And chapter 11 is when I start saying, is this some James Bond ass book? I am immediately thinking of like sharks controlled by radio signals and what have you, which
incredibly like Goldfinger and Scaramanga coded at once. Like it's so like mustache twirly on the Yerk's part.
Yes, it's so fun. I love this for them. And of course Visser 1 has style like this. Of course she does. So they're all getting super hunted by these hammerheads. They try to get away by like jumping out of the water like dolphins do, because sharks can't do that. But then as they're kind of like frantically figuring things out, there's a loud siren and the sharks leave. At which point I say, is this James Bond ass remote controlled sharks? Are we doing James Bond shit? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And then underneath them passes a big glass submarine. Are
we doing James Bond shit? Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. It's so fun. So there's 3 decks. They're all glass, and there's controllers of all different types on it. There's a froggy guy at the helm, which we can take as one of these Lyrans. The froggy guy looks at them, but then shrugs and then looks away and talks to the person in the captain's seat, which, like, we know who that is. That is Visser 1, obviously. And it just keeps going past them. Like it doesn't seem like they're gonna engage. It seems like they're gonna get away fine. And at this point, I was like, this could be either that they think it's a non-issue, that there's just some dolphins here, or it could be that they know exactly what's going on, and Visser One is like, hell yeah. I love that these people keep fucking up Visser Three's plans. My buddies. Oh, so good, so good.
I really like I really like your fan cast for Sofia Vergara
She's
as
the only
Visser
one.
One. I have to admit, I was thinking, I don't know if I like had a really concrete image in my head of what Visser One looked like as a kid. And then I like went and I heard you saying that on previous episodes, and I went and looked it up, and like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler, pull some goddamn strings for a girl, please. I wasn't horny for Marco's mom when I was a kid, but I could be.
It's our time. Yeah, this is also the first proper Nevermorph recording after the announcement that there is a series in development.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh my God.
This could go very well or very poorly, is my take.
Yeah. So what we do know is the Applegates, they're a little bit worried about it because they think it's under-resourced.
Yeah.
But one of the producers who is on board is a friend of theirs, and they say a true Animorphs fan. And also, with Ryan Coogler attached, like I feel safe. I feel secure. I have trust. This is the one man in Hollywood who I trust his vision pretty much across the board.
He's pretty good at this whole making visual fiction thing.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it. If this happens, I don't want to like hold out hope for it to for sure happen. You know, like
yeah, that is the other thing. A green light is not the same as we're getting a finished product at any point.
No, but that being said, this is also exactly how I felt about the Percy Jackson series. And lo and behold, that happened and was massively successful in its first season. And I watched the first season and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was spectacular. I thought it was so faithful. So maybe one can hope. Maybe one can hope. If this does happen, it'll be so nice to be able to cling on to that. You know, just the promise of it. I think we all kind of need something. But also, like, God, out of everyone in Hollywood, someone to do a right now very emotionally intense, very anti-fascist, anti-war, like genuinely diverse young adult series that is big genre. Like literally Ryan Coogler is the ideal person to handle that. Everything across the board. It feels like this could, if it happens, that it could be something really, really special. Really special.
What I kind of hope happens is one way or another, some of the folks who worked on Yellow Jackets end up on this, because I think that is one of the closest modern, like, prestige TV, quote unquote, series that I would relate in a big way to Animorphs in terms of like tone and like broad themes of storytelling. Yes. I think that could be fun.
Yes. I know some of the folks who wrote on the last season of Yellow Jackets. Do you know Emily St. James?
Oh, not directly, but by reputation, yes.
Yes. She's amazing. She's a buddy. I love her very dearly. I have to message her and be like, hey, can you just like start putting out feelers? I also trust you.
get a job specifically doing this for other people's?
Yeah, just start throwing your name into a hat. It's going to be a far throw, but I believe in you.
I mean, listen, as a writer, I'm like a little bit like, I wish I could Ellimist go back in time and talk to myself as I'm lying in bed and be like, hey, reorient your entire life around writing for TV. You must join Ryan Coogler presents The Animorphs in 2026. There's no time to explain.
Same, honestly, same. Oh man, my dream is if this show happens and people start listening to Nevermorphed and I can talk to the applicants. Oh my God. Because Mike Schubert over at The Newest Olympian, he's talked to Rick Riordan. That could be me. That could be me.
Lord, I see what you've done for others.
Please. I'll start believing in you, I promise.
I'll get right on it.
Oh, okay. So, chapter 12, they get back home, and it's a typical, like, they get back home and like, oh, fuck, school exists, right? So, he gets home, he's talking to his dad. His dad is going to order pizza. He says anything but fish, no anchovies, which is very funny. He is procrastinating on a book report for The Lord of the Rings.
So this is another technical Keishu.
Ooh.
I don't know how to pronounce that acronym. I'm going to pronounce it different every time. In number 10, he says something about Rachel being like a Tolkien elf maiden.
Oh, shit, you're
beautiful,
right.
Beautiful and dangerous.
Yes.
But he has not yet read The Fellowship of the Ring. I take this, his dad is a little bit of a nerd. He's a computer scientist. He plays games with his kid. Having a nerd dad, and I should know, may be why Marco chose Fellowship on in the first place to do his book report, and then he just like never got around to it. But he knows that there's hot elf girls in there, and he'll read it for that one of these days. But there's no hot elf girls in the first chapter, so this is kind of boring.
Yeah. Had the animated series come out at this point?
Of Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. I'm looking at
like the Bakshi?
Yeah. 78. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a chance.
Oh, sure. Yeah. He could have like watched that with his parents as a kid or something.
Yeah. I am not a Lord of the Rings guy, so I don't know the lore.
the real reason that Marco is doing this is because K. Applegate loves Tolkien and is constantly referencing Tolkien in these books.
Absolutely.
But this is actually also I did not have. I had like very patchwork access to pop culture and things in general. And my dad was more of a like Bob Dylan and Neil Young guy.
Sure.
I had never listened to Bob Marley and the Wailers at the point where I read this book. So I had no reference point for the song No Woman, No Cry.
Yeah. Wow.
And now to this day, when I hear No Woman, No Cry, I do think of No Mother, No Cry.
Yes. It's all I'm going to think about henceforth. Just like
unfortunately,
as very much a goth, anytime I think about Nine Inch Nails, they are nice as neat to me.
Nice as neat.
They will always be nice as neat. So he's listening to No Woman, No Cry. He's listening to Bob Marley and having feelings. He is talking about how nobody called him a coward for swimming away super fast, but he feels like a coward. And he doesn't know if anybody even noticed, but he noticed, and he's embarrassed about it. He is ashamed of it. Even though he knows that he is the only one who's been fucked up by a shark this bad, it's still, none of that matters. All that matters to him right now is that he ran away. And then on top of that, he has all of these feelings about his mom and her, what he thought was her death. Um,
I actually just realized this as we're talking about this.
yeah.
This is a, one of the ways in which Marco is actually most like Cassie.
Say more.
Because Cassie also had, I'm forgetting exactly which book it's in. I want to say number 9, where but I can't remember off the top of my head. But she has these. Oh no, she has a in Megamorphs actually. In the first Megamorphs, she has like a really intense like feeling of being a coward.
Yes,
and that's why she really insists on being the one who does the whole like quadruple morph thing in order to defeat the Valik. I both like Cassie has this complex for different reasons, but neither is like they don't want to be viewed as incapable by the rest of the team, and they're aware of all of the reasons that other people could have to look at them and think that they're not contributing, they're not dedicated to this, they're going to run away and leave everybody else hanging. So they have a bit of like a little chip on their shoulder for that reason. And in this, they want to prove otherwise. And Marco is just in the thick of it, feeling like he doesn't understand his own emotions. He can't control his emotions, and it's not okay.
Yeah, that's so true. I had not made that connection at all. And yeah, this is so similar. I mean, again, like different reasons, different impetus, but like totally this feeling of not wanting to seem incapable, not wanting to seem like they don't have their shit together and that they are going to be hazardous for
and he has this the line later on. I think you noted it in your notes on this chapter, where he's thinking about how Jake is making this calculus all the time.
Yes.
I guess it's what Jake feels every time he sits down to dinner with Tom. I guess he feels the same way I do, only Jake and I don't talk about that kind of stuff. Jake's my best friend, but he's my best friend because I'm me, you know? Because I'm funny and smart, and I'd back him up anytime, any place. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I'm me, Marco, not some touchy-feely, share your feelings with the group kind of person. I don't share feelings. I make people laugh.
Yeah. So as I was reading this and doing my live reactions, husband Zach could hear me, and he's read this book and he knows me quite well. And he was hearing me reacting to that passage specifically, and he came in and he just started cackling.
Mean husband.
He said, I told you, it's this book. This book is designed to hurt you. And then in my notes, I immediately say, in all caps, divorce. Yeah, this whole passage, the writing of he's my best friend because I'm me. And what he means there is not that Jake cares about Marco and his like truest self. Marco is thinking of this as Jake appreciates and is friends with the veneer that he puts up, the front that he puts up of being reliably funny and affable and low key, that it doesn't have to do with Marco as a full person, but instead the low-level lie that Marco is always telling about himself.
Yeah.
And my God, wow, again, another sentiment that I don't think I've ever seen in anything ever this astute and this like emotionally accurate to what being this kind of person feels like, not
Yeah.
even in adult literature, like, and put so simply and plainly and like easy to understand, which is crazy because when you're living that, it feels impossible to communicate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just, they're such good writers. Like, they're fun and they're silly, but when it hits, like, truly, truly some genuinely magnificent, elegant, sophisticated work here. Really impressive. And also, fuck you.
It is really one of a series of gut punch characterization passages here that I find so incredibly relatable from again a grief perspective
Yeah.
and a broader perspective of, Marco's going through a lot of trauma that makes him think that he can't open up to other people, but he's also a tween teen boy
Yeah.
growing up in the United States. He's getting all of these socialization messages that are also saying that, there are ways to be a boy, ways to be a man that don't really involve sharing how you're feeling, but you can get kind of close by being the joke boy.
Yeah.
But and sort of like communicating how you're feeling bad about a situation by making a pop culture reference. Mm-hmm. That's kind of funny. People do like that. Everybody likes that.
Everybody likes that.
And even if I think like Jake does care very deeply about Marco as a person and if he's okay, but that's just not a reality that Marco's brain is prepared to enter into here,
right,
for all of these reasons. And he's just going to operate in this kind of emotional survival mode. And it's really brutal to watch it happen as somebody who watches it happen in your own life.
Yeah. And like, there's this through line about Marco being very dedicated to his reality that he has crafted for himself.
Yeah.
So looking back at moving on from the grief of his mother, that he doesn't want to move on from that. He doesn't want to move on from that. That's too scary. That's too hard. And it doesn't feel right. I think there's also something here about him not wanting to even, or being able to, entertain the idea that Jake cares about him as a three-dimensional whole person, which we as the reader know is the case. We know that Jake cares about him as an actual person with his actual like full existence. But for Marco, there is something that is so safe about this comedian front that he puts up. It keeps him safe from that vulnerability of being a three-dimensional person and having these sides of himself that people might not like or might not understand, or that they aren't benefiting from in some way from his perspective. So for him to even consider that maybe Jake would care about him, including his feelings, including these dark things that he's had to deal with, that idea, I think, to people who haven't gone through things like this, that idea might seem really comforting, right? Of like, my friend loves all of me, right? But in this situation, that is actually terrifying because it means that you might actually have to be vulnerable. You might actually have to tell the truth. And if you ever want them to care about you in your full reality, you're going to have to. And that is so much scarier than thinking that they might just hate you. And so you just shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, at the same time, one of the things that I don't I can't fully relate to myself is Marco's insistence that he would rather be hated than pitied. And I'm kind of over here like, oh boy, hate's pretty intense. I don't like it when people hate me.
Yeah.
but I really understand that aversion to being pitied and to get in, and even in the sense of like, you know, I, for a very long time, especially while my dad was sick and after his death, I didn't want to talk about it because not because I was consciously trying to, avoid being pitied or like resented or anything, but there was a sense to me that it was pointless.
Yes.
That it was like, what am I going to get out of this? You know, yes. I'm just going to talk about it and I'm going to make somebody else feel bad. And I probably won't feel any better because I'm never going to feel better. And then, I'll just have to move on and it'll be a bad experience for everybody. And so I just won't do that. And that's not how that works.
Yeah. Turns out
you should talk to your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, because I very much, especially back when I was like in high school and going through some of like the worst shit I went through, the feeling, and maybe this is like a specific me thing, and this is maybe also like being raised as a girl thing, but for me, being pitied came with so much of having to manage other people's emotions about my own shit. And that was so fucking exhausting. And then on top of that, like already generalized misogyny, people dismissing me for thinking, et cetera, et cetera. But like, when you're already dealing with things and then you're hit with pity and then you have to do like, oh no, it's okay. Like
you are kind of expected to, and there's no like, it is a perception, but there is a strong like social perception of like, when somebody comes up to you, this I am like actually reevaluating stuff, and it was like, especially like after my dad got diagnosed, I remember having like a lot of adults like in my life and my family's life, like coming up to me and like just very gravely asking how I'm doing and like everything. And like, even if you feel like up for that conversation a few times, it gets kind of exhausting. Like, what am I going to have this talk with everybody in my life about how I feel about my dad having brain cancer? Like, no, I want to go play video games actually. Right. I see where you're coming from on that. And it's like, you just don't have the personal bandwidth to process everybody else's projections of your own emotions in addition to your own emotions.
Yeah. And especially at this age, I can't even imagine. This book is so good. This book, this is, I guess, maybe an end of episode spoiler, but like this book pretty much immediately became my new favorite. Like, I think there's no way that this book wasn't going to become my new favorite. It's so good. There's so much depth to it. And like, and also amidst this all, having like such a fun plot on top of that.
It's really fun too.
So fun. It's so fun.
It is really such a great mix of fun and weird and devastating that is exactly that, again, that sweet spot that is Animorphs to me.
Yes, exactly.
Nevermorphed is hosted, edited, and produced by Will Williams. Our theme music is The Chase by Joey Hendricks. Our title is by Eddie Feely, and this podcast would not exist without Mike Schubert's podcast, Potterless and the Newest Olympian. You can find his works at shub.es, that's shub.es. Nevermorphed is a proud member of Hughouse Productions. You can find more at hughouse.productions and follow us on Tumblr at Nevermorphed. Get morphin'!